After many, many years away, we are just about ready to witness the return of Maximum Velocity to iRacing. Yes, that's right. It's round number 1 of the revival of Maximum Velocity Racing League, and it's all going to be right here, all 20 races on Turn 200. Tonight's task at hand is the brand new Atlanta Motor Speedway. Pack Style Racing is going to be the name of the game, and when we return, we will have trucks on track for qualifying at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The revival of Maximum Velocity Racing League is around the turn on Turn 200.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation. Good evening, everybody. Welcome, either welcome to Turn 200 or welcome back to Turn 200. It's coverage of the revival of Maximum Velocity. My name is Tommy Cook. Well, we've got the effervescent, sure, why not, Matt Williamson up in the booth here as well. It's been a crazy week here on the channel, and it's just about time for the cherry on top. Some wild racing action, if practice is anything to go off of, about to be at hand here tonight at the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Well, it's new Atlanta. I mean, if that's not one way to kick off a season, I don't know what is. The pseudo super speedway, although I think at this point we can just call it a short super speedway. It gets really, really tight here at the new version of Atlanta, and it produces a little bit of chaos usually, so I think we're in for a wild one.
For those of you who didn't catch the practice race a couple of weeks ago at Las Vegas, you may not have seen the full 20-race schedule here for Maximum Velocity for the rest of the year. Matt Williamson, why don't you walk us through some of what your personal highlights are on the calendar?
Well, as we go through our schedule here, I mean, there's a couple of home races somewhat here for me. Of course, from Illinois and Chicagoland, no longer on the actual NASCAR schedule, so love coming there in the sim. Also, Nashville Super Speedway is pretty near and dear to my heart as well, and I love the fact that we are going to race on the dirt in this series at Knoxville. And closing this thing out at Las Vegas, that's going to be a wild one, too. I can't wait.
Absolutely. I'm going to, we're going to try and do, and now, see, this is the reverse of the issue that I was having earlier, where I was not able to pull people up, and I'm still not able to pull people up, unfortunately. So we're going to have to rectify that here soon. So I guess drivers, if you're listening and you want an interview quick in the pre-race show, go ahead and come up into the waiting room, and we'll pull you in for a little bit of a quick shout here. But as these drivers are getting after it in practice here, A couple of things to clean up. First of all, it's nice to meet you. If you weren't around for Las Vegas, give us a quick shout. Let us know who you are. Let us know who you're rooting for, and drop us a chat here. We'll be happy to have you along for the long haul this season for 20 races. Should be a good time. Another thing to note, you may just see a lot of crashing here tonight. And what's interesting, there was an update just today where if you get smashed into the wall, you could possibly have some floppy wheels like you would expect in maybe the street stocks or some open wheel racing. So a lot more destruction than we are normally used to here tonight, possibly. We'll have to see. We're going to pull up a driver that just hopped into the waiting room. Welcome to Booth 200, driver number 6, Ronnie Norman. Thanks for stopping by. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good tonight. How about you guys?
Can't complain so far. The task at hand here tonight, Atlanta Motor Speedway, the new one. How are we feeling about it?
I ran a league race here Monday night, so pretty fresh on the track. Definitely not a big fan of it. I like the old Atlanta. But, hey, we got to do what we got to do, and hopefully we can stay out of trouble and out of the big one today and see if we can put this number 6 NOS Ford F-150 inside the top 3 for a podium. Maybe a win. You never know.
You never know, that's for sure. What do you think you're looking forward to most here this season? Are you in it for full-time, or are you picking and choosing?
No, I'm definitely going to try to be full-time. The only thing that's going to be playing with me is these next couple weeks. I'm going to be running a little late to work with the way these races are finishing up, but hopefully I can stick in. If I dip out early, that's why I dipped out. But hopefully this race goes green and I won't have to worry about any of that. But yeah, so definitely want to try to put good points every day or every race in here that I can. And like I said, we'll be full time. Hopefully my teammate, the 55 of Christian Snyder, sticks with it as well. So he likes these open. These big tracks. So I brought him in here with me to run. So hopefully he can get some goodwill with these races, and we'll see what we can do.
Well, you're top 10 in practice right now. Is the strategy to get up front, stay up front, or are you going to try and wait out a couple of crashes?
It's like a hit or miss with me. I'm one of them people where before I go into the race, I'm like, hey, I'm going to stay mid-pack and stay out of the big one. And the next thing you know, I'm on the outside front row running for the lead, and I'm just staying up there like, well, I guess we're here. I guess we might as well just stick it out and play with it. So, but yeah, no, we'll see where we qualify at, and then we'll just go from there. So if I kind of qualify toward the back, I'll probably ride around there and stay out of the big one, hopefully.
All righty, Ronnie Norman, appreciate the time here before the race, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again afterwards.
All right, yeah, thank you.
All righty, good to hear from driver number 6 here. A lot of new names, a lot of races for us. We knew of about 4 drivers in this league before the practice race. We got a couple of the names from that practice race in the Rolodex and got them used to it. A lot more new names and a lot more new faces here tonight.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's exciting for us. Anytime, we come into a new league, it's always exciting to see who's going to run up front, how people progress throughout the season. If somebody struggles at the beginning and then really turns it on late, just get to know these drivers and their driving tendencies. It's always great to come into a new league and learn about a new group of drivers. So I'm really excited about that aspect of it.
34 drivers registered for the session. I believe we got 32 in the server right now, waiting on a couple of more to get to the server here and hopefully take to the track for 3 laps of qualifying. A few drivers out on track right now. Matt, who are we looking at?
Right now, we're looking at somebody that was up front quite a bit in our preseason race, little practice race at Las Vegas. That's William Kirk in the 9. And it looks like he's opting to kind of run the top and try to get that momentum going before you try to put in a blazing lap. And especially here at Atlanta, I feel like that's really important.
Now, it is a bright, sunny day here in the sim, set on the default date of May 15th. But bright and sunny, but it's 9:30 in the morning. What are our track temperatures looking like here?
Taking a look at the weather, very cool. I mean, it is the morning. We're at 86 degrees on the track temperature, and you and I kind of know what that's like. We were there that first rendition of New Atlanta in person the spring of 2022, and it's very much similar to kind of the weather we had that morning. So, cool temperatures, and that's going to be good for these drivers here.
Absolutely, every little bit is going to help, and I like the idea of it getting the hottest that it's going to be right at the end of the race when these guys are having to push like crazy to get up through the field. Some of the early times here, Rod Mitten, who we were originally going to pull up into the broadcast booth to have a little chat with, he is at the top of the board right now. Actually, he has just been overtaken by I believe Rob Haynes in your favorite number on the track, number 199.
Yep, good to see the 199 on the track in this league. That's a go-to number for me, along with a couple of others. And I'm excited. You don't get to see triple digits too often, so I'm glad we have him here in this series.
Quite a few triple-digit number drivers in the league. I think we've got 4 in the session here tonight. And right now, Rob Haynes still has that top time, 32.195. Up, Justin Michael to the top of the board. The 32.15, driver number 87. It's hard to gauge ever how Justin Michael really thinks his race is going to go. He's got a quiet confidence to him. And, when you drive like he does, it's not hard to imagine that you would pick up some confidence in your time, certainly.
No, I mean, he's got to put together pretty much anywhere he goes, and it's hard to gauge him because he's real humble about it. So sometimes he kind of plays like he's not really going to do that well, and he ends up winning the darn thing.
We've seen that time and time again. This is a different animal here, though. We got 1 minute and 20 seconds left in qualifying here. Why don't we go ahead and get the keys to the race here ahead of time? We got a lot of drivers to roll through here on this starting grid. I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough time to do it.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we talked about the track conditions a little bit earlier. So morning time, it's cool. Really not going to be an issue with handling at all here. 70% fuel capacity here in this series. So here at Atlanta, that's about 35 to 40 laps, and as long as we can stay green, we're going to get to that. If not, might not end up really being an issue. There are 3 extra tire sets. The big one, especially here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, is 0 fast repairs, and the red line through the quad oval is out of bounds.
Oh,
so we're gonna have to keep our eye on that one tonight.
Absolutely, something to keep your eye on, and that's. Oops, I almost just joined a voice channel on accident. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, man. Yes.
Hey, good to have Car inside in the YouTube chat. Good old Nathan Reynolds hanging out with us here for a little bit.
He posted today on the channel that Car Inside is on a little bit of a hiatus right now, but getting ready to come back here soon with some of that classic C-Fix content that Nathan is always posting, always helping out drivers. As we are getting ready to go here for 75 laps in the Maximum Velocity Racing League Revival, round number 1 of 20 here for the season. And Justin Michael, the winningest driver in the field from Max Velocity, will lead the field to green. To his outside on the front row, the 199 of Rob Haynes. On row number 2, on the inside, truck number 30 is Seth Fowdy. To his outside is Michael Milfelt Jr. in the 155. Again, a disclaimer to anybody in the chat here tonight. If I say your favorite driver's name wrong, please tell me. There are a couple of complicated ones in here, including Riley Bukima. Bukima in truck number 42, Don Milkowitz to his outside. Drew Strotman and Kyle Chadwick there on row number 4, and Charles Widener and Ron Mitten on row number 5. Podium finisher from the Las Vegas practice race, William Dekirk will start in the 11th position. Jack Watts to his outside in 12th. Row number 7 is George Hendricks on the inside. Austin Hawkins on the outside. Jesse Vaughn and Matt Rodoloso on row number 8. Noah Rainwater joined the league with minutes to spare before this session started here tonight. League proprietor, or one of them anyway, Kerry Cleaver, starting to his outside. Wally Terheimer, then Christian Snyder, then on row number 10. Ronnie Norman, we talked to him in the pre-race show. He decided not to post a qualifying time. Actually, no, he posted the 21st fastest time. To his outside, then, the first of the drivers who did not post a time, Heath Smith in truck number 1. James Lehman, another one of the league proprietors, will be starting on the inside of row number 12 with Andrew Schulte, another very winning driver in the league history books, starting to his outside. Greg Mall and Robert Matisse on row number 13. Bill Paradise and Brennan Gregg on row number 14. Brad Slagle, Matt Burkhart, Chris Boyles, Brian Troy, Craig Hawkins, and Nicholas Bradshaw. Your 34 drivers here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 34 trucks is a lot to be packing in anywhere, but to do it here is really gonna turn the wick up a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly is. Usually I say when we're coming into a race like this, we might have a bit of a period where the drivers kind of feel each other out, but I have been proven wrong time and time again. It seems like drivers actually think this is their best chance to jump out front and get a good start on their season. So I expect it to be possibly all out on the first lap here.
I think all out on the first lap, whether you want it to be or not, is probably going to be the name of the game here. We are about to find out as the pace truck leading the field through turns 3 and 4. It's been many years since we've had points-paying racing action with Maximum Velocity Racing League, but all that is about to change. Pace truck hangs the left. We are getting ready to go green for 75 laps around Atlanta Speedway. Maximum Velocity is back. Justin Michael leads the field green. Big run coming on the outside here for Rob Haynes. He gets a nose out in front into turn number 3. We'll be battling side by side for the lead. Who will get back to the line to lead the first lap? It's going to be Haynes.
And I'm sure we'll talk about this throughout the evening. At the start of the runs, it seems like the inside is a little bit better, but as long as you have a few cars or trucks at this time that can work together really well on the outside, it seems like that can possibly be the preferred line. You can carry a lot of momentum and speed there on the outside and really chip away at that inside line and inch forward as the laps click by.
Michael in control on the bottom. It's still Haynes there on the outside. Thinking about 3 wide through the field. And we are going 3 wide. Just inside of the top 10 there. Boy, we are going 4 wide maybe. We're touching. Holy cow.
And they sorted it out quickly. We're back to 2 wide.
I mean, you have to. Goodness gracious. There's Haynes across the line there. I didn't quite see who that was. That really got in there and mixed it up. I think it's the 48, maybe. That's, well, there's 2 48s, of course. The U.S. Postal Service 48.
And those 3 wide moves, this is a place that you can kind of make those work even on your own. You really have to pick your spots well if you're going to try it. But if it does not work out, it can go downhill in a hurry. I mean, you can drop spots really quickly if you hang yourself out here. So you got to be careful when you're trying to gain positions in that manner.
Haynes had an opportunity up front to clear himself down on Justin Michael. Didn't take it. Now Michael battling right back here on the inside. And now he's clear. Will come right down in front of the 87. So the 199 moves to the bottom. I believe that will give control of the top line there to the 155, if I'm not mistaken, of Michael Milfelt. A little bit of 3 wide. Kyle Chadwick on the inside of Don Milkowitz there. Real tight quarters. Milkowitz going to drop into line behind the 48 truck.
Yeah, that 48 is moving up quickly.
Yeah, I got the 411 on some drivers to keep our eyes on rather tonight. And that Chadwick name came up a couple of times.
And there are a couple of 48s. I actually think
yes,
the 48 that made that move on Milkowitz was maybe Austin Hawkins?
I think that is Austin Hawkins. I think you're right. And Chadwick was the one that is slipping back right now.
Yeah, Chadwick is down quite a few spots. He was there in the top 5 and now is all the way down to 10th place.
But rest assured, Austin Hawkins' name also came up. So you're covered with whatever 48 truck that you want there. So Milfelt with a nose out in the lead down the back straightaway. Led across the line the last time, trying to get some help here from Austin Hawkins to maybe drop into place. Austin Hawkins being scored as the 88, but running the 48 on that truck. A couple of trucks out of shape there a little bit further back in the pack. I think that was Chadwick again.
Well, as you go through the quad oval here at the new version of Atlanta, at high speeds, trying to make that turn, or those 2 turns, I guess, really quickly, it's difficult. You can get kind of tight there and get yourself out into the wall really, really easily. So you got to be careful when you're going through that quad oval, especially with traffic around you. 3 wide in the quad oval really does not work too well at all here.
No, certainly not. Somebody just got a warning over the radio for red line and did not quite catch the name on it. But it is on Race Control's mind here already. Still 11 laps into this race.
We had a pre-race interview with Ronnie Norman. He wasn't sure what he was going to do. He's hanging out right now in 25th place. So maybe not the best qualifying effort. And after, wow, that was close with Hawkins and the 155 of Milfelt.
Yeah, you can strategize as much as you want, but until you get in the seat and get ready to go, you never really know what you're going to do. He kind of said that as much, and I can relate, and I had a chuckle about it. It's like, yeah, I've always said that I'm going to stay back, and then all of a sudden I find myself pushing 3 wide for the lead. It's like, yep, I've done that a time or two.
It's enticing. You get a little taste of it, and
yes.
You don't want to let it go.
Oh, Michael Milfelt getting a great taste of leading out front, but cannot get himself down onto the bottom.
Well, he's
Austin Hawkins. Yep.
Yeah, he's getting major pushes from Hawkins. I mean, Hawkins is going way high into the corners because he is flat out pushing him all the way to turn 1 and turn 3. And then Hawkins kind of drifts up the track a little bit, carrying a ton of speed. And through the corners, you can get really tight on that top side. I'm not really sure what it is. I don't know if it's the track flattens out just a bit up there, but you think you're going to be good, and then all of a sudden you'll find yourself in the wall before you blink. So you got to be careful.
Big push down the backstretch here, but not quite clear. Rob Haynes, Michael Milfelt the two drivers leading the charge here with help from Justin Michael and Austin Hawkins, respectively. Next trucks in line, Don Milkowitz and Seth Foudy. Matt Rodoloso and Riley Bikima also in the mix here as Ron Mitten and Kerry Cleaver right now round out your top 10. On lap 15, coming to lap 16. Laps are ticking by pretty quick here. Everybody's in touch with the lead pack out of the 33 drivers that actually took the green flag.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of jostling, but really not a lot. Now, something that does happen here at Atlanta, it's not exactly like your Daytonas or your Talladegas. Tire wear does come into play here at Atlanta a lot quicker than it does at those bigger super speedway package races. So especially when you're running the top, but when you're running the bottom and you kind of start to drift up a little bit with some tire wear, a couple of drivers might get together here before too long off of that.
Saw Don Milkowitz drop in from the top line into the bottom. Top line is suffering a little bit, but now Matt Rodoloso has caught up to the back bumper of the 88/48. Oh, a little askew there off the front bumper. There's always nervous moments. One car really jut out completely, nearly side by side, trying to push.
Well, Hawkins has just been laying the bumper to the 155 of Milfelt this entire race so far since he got into that fourth or third position.
And like you said, with tire wear maybe being a factor here later in the runs, those pushes are going to become a little bit more scary as time goes on here. But it's almost got Milfelt out front. He just has not been able to clear himself over the 199 there, rocking the inside with help still from Justin Michael. Everybody's been doing a great job so far. Not making trouble, not finding trouble. How quickly is that going to change, though? Lap 20, no cautions. And Milfelt almost clear, not quite. Haynes fighting back on the inside.
One thing that everybody that watches this series in particular is going to find out is there is an absolute boatload of talent strewn throughout the field here from top to the bottom. So there's really not a lot of mistakes that happen, but you put all these drivers with all of that talent on the same track, things are going to get heated and things are going to happen. So nothing quite yet. We're still rolling green here, but as this race goes along, we're going to get hungry.
Shuffled out. Yep, you talk about hungry. There it is. Austin Hawkins shuffles out Michael Milfelt, and he is going the wrong way and into the wall. Still working to get around him.
Yep, he just grazed the wall, but he is still falling backwards very quickly, Milfelt is.
So as he continues to go the wrong way here up front, Rob Haynes in control outright. He can pick whatever lane he wants to go with, but he is getting a heck of a push right now from Justin Michael.
And what that does for everybody else here, it creates some gaps in the field, and you're able to make some moves that you weren't able to make before until we get tightened back up.
So get your getting while the getting's good is the long and short of that.
Hey, Tommy, we talked about how if you get out of shape and put yourself in a bad spot, how quickly you can lose positions.
Yep.
In a lap and a half, Milfelt's all the way down to 28th place from first.
Yep. And, Hawkins was giving him good pushes, but there were a couple of times where he got just way out of sorts with him. That was one time where they just couldn't quite reconvene. Hawkins says, nah, I'm just going to move to the inside of you. Sorry. So you could put the blame on one truck or another, but the long short of it is the 88/48 is still up front here, and Milfeld is way back mired in traffic here. Well, we got a decent chunk of people watching here tonight. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, drop us a chat. Introduce yourself. We're going to be here together for the next 20 weeks, not counting Thanksgiving. So say hello.
And while you're saying hello and you're finding all the good buttons down there in YouTube land, maybe like the stream and subscribe to Turn 200. It helps us out and trying to get to the places that we're trying to go and bring you the great action that we're seeing here from the Maximum Velocity Racing League.
I tell you what, we're pretty close to 300 subs. That's wicked cool.
Yeah, you know, when we first started this thing, we really didn't know how big it could get. I wasn't sure it could even get this big, but here we are.
No.
So thanks to all the viewers out there that have enjoyed the content, the racing leagues over the last not even a year now, which is absolutely crazy. It seems like it's been forever in a good way. So we're glad to bring you the action, and we'll be here for the long haul.
Top line getting a little feisty once again. Hawkins, Rodoloso, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong. I believe that is Rod Mitten on the top side there as well in the 92 truck. They just can't quite get lined up to make a big push like we were seeing when Milfeld was up front.
Yeah, if you're running that outside, you have to have... Oh, and there's a little bit of contact, it looked like, between Hawkins and Michael. Just a little touch as they were going into turn 3. But as I was saying, if you're running the outside, you have to have at least a couple, if not a few trucks that can run really well, really tight together without getting out of shape. Otherwise, you're kind of at a bit of a disadvantage here, I think.
I'm impressed that all 33 trucks are within range, within draft range here. Craig Hawkins right now running at the tail of the field, but I think still has a draft as up front. Austin Hawkins just had a nose out front. Did he get the run here off of turn 4 that he needs? I think he has it at the line. Not quite going to get clear on the 199 rather of Rob Haynes.
And we have somebody in the chat, MD Kirk. It's Will Kirk's mother.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Kirk is rocking the top 15 right now. Maybe playing the long game here. It's so hard, even if you're starting outside the top 10, to make the moves you need to get up to the front here. You really got to play the long game. And speaking of long game, it's been 30 laps without a caution. What are we thinking here for pit stops?
Well, I mean, we said 35 to 40 on a tank of fuel, and if you get to about lap 37 or 38, that's going to put you in position, if this thing goes green all the way, to make it on that one stop. So I'm going to guess that probably most are going to just try to stay out almost as long as possible. But you also... pit stops here can be lethal, so you really got to pick your spots. You don't want everybody to go out all at the same time. I would guess the inside line, or at least most of it, will probably try to go together, and then the outside line will go one more lap around, and maybe all of them try to come in together as well. But that's still a lot of trucks to come in all at the same time.
Now, full transparency, I did miss the drivers' meeting earlier, but I don't remember seeing anything in the lead up to tonight's race about special pit road entry procedures like we've seen in the actual real-life Atlanta the last couple of trips there. So a couple of trucks out of shape there a little bit further back. I think that was Chadwick that got run up on. I didn't quite see who that was. But all that to say is, in theory, pit road entry is right off of turn 4, and that could lead to some chaos.
It certainly can. It is a tough pit entry here at the new version of Atlanta if you don't come and pit into turn 3 like they do in the real real-life series now. And to my knowledge, like you said, I don't remember hearing anything about it. So I think you can pretty much pull off whatever you want to, and that makes it a little bit dangerous. You mentioned Chadwick. Oh, and I think...
Oh, Hawkins just got up into the wall.
He's getting shuffled out just like Milfelt did, and he will likely drop in a hurry unless he can find a spot to get in here.
So that will now move Matt Rodoloso up front on the outside. But Rob Haynes, now the inside lane has the numbers advantage.
And Hawkins fell quite a bit, but not quite as much as Milfelt did. He shakes out right around the 18th spot here.
So Rod Mitten pushing the
there's
living
another
daylights.
wall.
Oh, boy.
That was Chadwick, I think.
Oh, man.
And I don't know. He probably didn't take a whole lot of damage. He's going to be fine, but that could have been disastrous.
Certainly.
And that's what we talked about. You get late in these runs, there is tire wear that comes into play here at the 2022 version of Atlanta. And you can slide right up the racetrack if you're not careful.
Ooh.
Looked like a little bit of an incident there farther in the back. I think that was Greg Mall.
Pit stop's underway. Here we go. We're having quite a few people hitting pit road this time over the radio. Michael, Haynes, Lehman, Terheimer. Oh, Michael gets collected. Caution is going to fly.
Oh, my.
Wow, that changes everything. So Justin Michael called out his pit stop well in advance. Gets tagged by, I think it might have been Don Milkowitz. I couldn't tell if he was slowing up to come to the pits or what happened there. You're going to have to give us a better look here.
Yeah, there's a lot to find with this one.
And I was watching Justin Michael. There's actually a pretty decent stack up that's going on behind him as well.
All right. Oh, and it starts maybe even before then. I got to get a little bit of a wider shot here. So this is going to be, I believe, Hawkins here in the 48. The Ally 48, that is. He gets run into by somebody here. And that kind of started the whole thing there in the back. Everybody goes sliding through the grass. I'm going to back it up here. We can get a little bit better look at that. Yeah, it's the 16. I'm not sure who the 16 is. I'll have to take a look at who that is. Or maybe that's the 18. That might be Brennan Gregg.
We don't have a 16, so it's probably the 18 of Brennan Gregg or a big Greg Biffle fan. One of the two.
I don't know if Hawkins he was trying to slow down or if he just got kind of caught in a weird spot, but Greg runs right into the back of him and punts him up into the top line, and that is going to set off the chain reaction.
I mean, we had just mentioned it not 2 laps earlier. Getting onto this pit lane is going to be awkward, and it brings out the big ones so far. Quite a few trucks still on pit road here.
Oh, my. I mean, right here, just down in the grass or at least slow in the back of this field. I mean, there's at least 12 trucks, if not more. And I do need to mention that there are 2 Hawkins here in the series. There's Austin Hawkins, and I believe Craig Hawkins as well.
Yes.
Austin Hawkins is the one that got ran over there and kind of started that melee.
So, not a surprise. Pretty much everybody was on, not pretty much, everybody was on pit road. I believe, not sure how it happened, but Jack Watts in truck number 77 picked up a black flag. And if I can see that he picked up a black flag, that more than likely means he is going to have to serve it under green here. So that'll be a tough break for the 77 if that is the case. But now service is complete. These guys, in theory, are good to go to the end here unless we go to overtime. I mean, is that even, like, we've never gone to overtime here at a draft-style track? It's never happened.
How could we ever possibly think about going to overtime here?
I mean, I think every driver is thinking about everything right now, race-related and not. That's just what super speedways bring out of you.
Well, what this is going to do, there's no more pit stops now. I mean, obviously we could have cautions and people could decide to come down pit road, but we're good on fuel, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So no mandatory cautions here, or pit stops.
So it's Matt Rodoloso and Rod Mitten here on the front row. The 49 on the inside, the 92 on the outside. The restart zone is in effect here, so they are coming to that Levely Geico branded restart zone. The green flag is back in the air. And yes, indeed, it is a black flag for Jack Watts. He will have to come in under green here, unfortunately. A good start here by Mitten.
They are pushing hard there on the bottom. A couple of them move up for a bit of a block.
Here we go. That's the actual 48 of Kyle Chadwick, and he is right there. I believe that 14 is actually scored as the 29 of Robert Matisse. So Matisse going to work here.
And that 24 Wendell Scott Foundation truck, I believe, is Jesse Vaughn, which is scored as the 84. So keep that in mind when you're watching the ticker.
A couple of drivers hoping to be a little bit nicer next week with their with their numbers on their trucks. But we're figuring it out. Oh, man, the 69 just washed up big time. That's Kerry Cleaver. And up the track here, Rodoloso stacking up that top line. As Mitten again with the big push from Chadwick out front.
Yeah, Vaughn instead of, and here goes the 48 to the top. Wow, a lot of shuffling going on there. Matisse goes up high to stay with him.
Oh, out of shape. Hang on to it. Wow. Running on a knife edge. '84, a little bit out of shape there, Jesse Vaughn. The 05 of Noah Rainwater also looking a little bit out of shape here. He's got the 9 of William Kirk pulling up behind him. So Kirk working up into the top 10.
And we're starting to get really spread out there in the quad oval.
Got one truck looking for 3 wide. I think that's James Lehman, if I'm not mistaken. With Bill Paradise there on the inside. I think the 3 of Drew Strotman is going the wrong direction. It's just inside the top 15 there. As still duking it out up front.
Oh, as the laps click by, less than 30 to go, and they go by quickly here at this racetrack. Really, that's not a lot of time left. Drivers are going to start. Oh, and there it is!
There it is. Several trucks involved there. I think Brad Slagle was involved. Didn't quite see how it started, but the 40,
Strotman.
the 88 of Austin Hawkins involved in almost immediate disconnect as well.
Wow, that one happened in a hurry. I think this one may already be underway. Oh, maybe not. We're going to take a look here. Oh, and you're right. Contact between Hawkins and I'm trying to figure out who else this is. Give me just a moment.
The 052 of Brad Slagle, I think, is one of them in there.
Yep, and I believe that's who that is. They make contact. I'm going to back this up just a bit. Contact coming out of turn number 2. Looks like Hawkins comes down the track just a bit into Slagle, and it's going to turn Slagle hard into the outside wall. And, I mean, we're going very fast, nowhere really to go. Oh, and the 6. Wow, he does a heck of a job of getting down there to the bottom of the racetrack. It takes no damage, I think, through this incident. Heck of a job to avoid that one.
It's our pal Ronnie Norman.
So, yep, that one starts with Hawkins getting just inching down the track out of turn number 2 into Slagle, turns him into the outside wall, and the rest is history.
So Norman and others pitting, if only for fresh underwear after that. But Bill Paradise, Brendan Gregg, Seth Foudy, Rob Haynes, Matt Burkhart, Brian Troy, Michael Milfeld, Andrew Schulta, some undamaged drivers that all hit pit road, maybe if only to top off to make sure they are good for overtime. And also to use up their allotted tires as well. You talk about handling being an issue. They are given 3 extra sets of tires ahead of tonight. So assuming most of those drivers put on set number 2 there.
You know, I think personally for me, and of course I'm not the best driver out there, but handling does become an issue for me here, especially since I like to run the outside. Running the outside, your tires, you can really slide up the racetrack easily. I think, and if I was some of these guys, I might be coming in for tires as well. We're going to have 25 laps left here, and you're going to be able to maneuver your truck a lot better than the rest of the field once we get down to the last 10 laps or so, and that could really be a difference maker for you.
Coming to lap 51 of 75 when we come back to the restart here. We've got 28 trucks running on the lead lap, 30 trucks running overall. We've lost Austin Hawkins, Christian Snyder, and Chris Voiles as well. Actually, Chris Voiles is out on the track 11 laps down, so good for him for sticking it out here tonight. You never know. We got more than 11 laps to go. He'll pick up some spots.
Yeah, he will be rewarded with at least a few spots here, probably.
Every point is going to count in a 20-race season. And somebody has an opportunity to go big right out of the gate here tonight. What are they going to do for it? Could we go green to the end here? It's crazy, but it's possible. Anything is possible. 25 laps to go. Back to the Geico restart zone. Rod Mid immediately jumps to the top side. So does Matt Rodoloso. Kyle Chadwick making some headway on the bottom now. Going to look to go up to the top. Thought about going back to the bottom now. Just going to go up to the back bumper of the 92.
Couple of big blocks there out of the 92 of Rod Mitten. Chadwick says, all right, I'll let you have it. I'll just push you the rest of the way. At least for now.
That opens the door for Matisse there on the inside with help from Kerry Cleaver. Cleaver up into the front. Oh, truck into the wall. I think it was Justin Michael, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Michael definitely involved in this one. Don Milkowitz in the 13 as well.
Oh, man.
And still green right now.
Yep, that was the call from race control. It looked like Milkowitz just hooked 87 up the track there. They were both running the high line. Maybe we'll get a look at that if something else crazy doesn't happen here. Oh, there we go! Trouble, 2 around, and that is going to be a big one, I think. Jesse Vaughn.
Actually,
wow, I don't know how.
Crazy.
Unbelievable. I mean, Jesse Vaughn pulls a 360 there. The field scatters, but that's it. Unbelievable job by the field here.
Yeah, and you saw it there, Vaughn with really heavy damage to the front of the truck. He's going to be down on power big time.
He did plaster the side of somebody's truck, and I didn't see quite who it was. It might be the 34 of George Hendricks.
We're going to back it up. Vaughn was having a lot of issues here. And I will try to find him. Sorry, give me just a moment. Here we go. So this is coming through the quad oval. Oh, and Vaughn, he actually gets tagged a little bit here. And that just sends him completely out of control.
I think that's the 05 of Noah Rainwater behind him.
So he gets out of control with Rainwater. He gets down. He tags the 34 and goes for a little spin. It's put in the spin cycle here. Looks like Lehman might have had a little bit of damage off the 34 as well. The 34 is George Hendricks, by the way. But yeah, that could have been a really, really big incident, and just a couple of trucks involved.
Really an impressive job, not only by Jesse Vaughn to loop that, lock it down, and keep going, but, I mean, he had 20-plus trucks behind him, and 1 or 2 trucks are going to pick up damage out of this. So all the drivers there in the immediate vicinity, William Kirk was one of them, did a fantastic job. Now we have an opportunity to go back and look as well at what happened to Justin Michael and Don Milkowitz, if you could still grab that.
Yeah, I can certainly try to find that replay for you.
I know a lot happened since then.
It's going to take me just a second. I think I may have found it. Let's see if this is it. Oh, and yeah, he is already up in the wall. Let me find Justin Michael here. Actually, it was 3 wide through the quad oval here. That's I mean, that'll do it. Let's get a better angle and slow this one down. He's 3 wide with Milkowitz and actually James Lehman.
Oh.
And Milkowitz, yeah, he just doesn't stay in line, it looks like. He dips down into the middle lane and right hooks Justin Michael right into the wall. Oh, and then Michael makes a little bit of contact with the 30. The 5.56 gets involved in this one just a bit, not too much contact there. But Michael, a lot of damage there. He's still getting turned as we roll out of the replay.
He did pick up a meatball flag, but I think it is already cleared. Unfortunately for him, he is, I believe, at least 1 lap down, maybe 2. We are lining up double file here for the restart. We are coming to, I believe, 19 laps to go when we come back around. Rod Midden, and now Robert Matisse, I believe. However you say it. The 14/29 truck is on a heck of a run right now, up 24 spots from where he started. Kyle Chadwick, Kerry Cleaver, Matt Rodoloso, Riley Bukima, Heath Smith, George Hendricks, Noah Rainwater, and James Lehman. Top 10 as we're coming to the restart. Again, restart zone in effect. 19 laps. Another big jump here by Mitten. That's not always a good thing. Chadwick going to close the gap. Is he going to find the space he needs to make the pass this time? Rodoloso is also clear on Matisse for the time being. But up, they all stay tucked in line there on the bottom as nearly contact there between the two. Rodoloso and Matisse.
Yeah, you really have to trust a driver underneath of you if you're going to try to squeeze him down on that bottom lane. Whoa, and excuse me, that's Rodoloso. Almost dipped a tire down onto the apron. That can get squirrely in a hurry.
Chadwick going to give a big bump here.
And the 69 Kerry Cleaver, he is the pusher here on the outside.
Kerry Cleaver, one of the OGs of Maximum Velocity. Looking to have a big run here. Straight out of the gates. After a quiet first half of the race, he has been up front here and in the thick of it of late. 2 9 trucks there on the outside. One of them is William Kirk. The one in front of him, I'm not sure. Might be Riley Bikima, maybe?
And as you say that, let's go ahead and do a little kick pot cam here. We haven't done it all night. Let's get it in before we get down to the very closing stages. This is William Kirk's point of view.
And he's hoping that he's not going to get a really good look at something nasty that might happen here soon. Chris Fulson in the chat says had nowhere to go. And he's cheering on Ronnie to get a good finish here today.
Man, you can see the close quarters here in front of Kirk. He's got to kind of feather the throttle just a little bit to stay off of the truck in front of him. Oh, and Kirk, I thought he was going to try to leave him hanging out to dry. He definitely thought about putting it 3 wide.
They're 3 wide just behind him as well. One truck just had to get onto the apron to try and save it. Not sure who that was. Might have been the 70. Oh boy, I can't tell. So many people running different numbers than what they're actually scored as. It's hard to tell.
Well, I was surprised. I definitely thought Kirk was going to try to leave. I think it might be Bukima out to dry because we are getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Woo!
3 wide back here with Rob Haynes. They collected. He's down in the second line now.
Oh! Chadwick got really loose there out of turn number 2. It stays in line. Handling starting to become an issue here as this track is getting hotter and these tires are getting hotter too.
We take one little look at the weather before we get down to 11 laps to go, over 100 degrees on the track temperature, so definitely getting warmer.
Kirk, Rainwater, Lehman, 3 wide. Just inside of the top 10. Rainwater up the track. Oh my gosh.
And Lehman, he didn't even have anybody right next to him. He got up in the wall as well.
It literally does not get closer than that. It just is any closer. Wow.
Oh, Lehman's still trying to find his way down. He finally does.
Holy cow. Kirk has to roll out of it now to tag Bikima in front of him.
And we have some lap trucks coming up. We'll see how they shake out.
Oh, boy. One down to the apron. I think that's Justin Michael, if I'm not mistaken. Not at all how his night, or how he was hoping his night was going to go.
10 laps to go.
Can we make it 10 laps? My bet
there's
is
some
no.
contact. That's
Oh,
Cleaver,
boy.
the number 1 of Heath Smith. They corral it. It's going to break that pack up, though. The outside line's going to get bunched up.
Cleaver
And
gonna
Noah
drop into
Rainwater,
the. Oh boy, yeah, all by his lonesome here.
well, he made do with what he had. That outside lane got jumbled up. He takes a shot at the outside lane from the bottom, and it's going to pay off at least for a little bit. Probably here in the long run.
What's helping him is that Robert Matisse really is not losing a whole bunch of time here, being out by himself. But now Rainwater's going to look to the outside, maybe. And now he's going to get swallowed up. Oh, my gosh. How did they not wreck?
Well, it's not
Three
over
wide.
yet. We're 3 wide through the quad oval.
Oh, we're going to wreck. I'm saying, how did they not wreck there? We're just kicking the can down the road at this point.
A
Rod
bold-
Midden. Oh, my God. There are bold moves everywhere. You have to be bold at the end of this race.
And Mitten a little bit by his lonesome there for just a second. Here comes the run from the outside. Rainwater, I thought, was going to try the 3 wide again. He pulls in behind.
I think Noah thought he was going to try the 3 wide there as well. Didn't quite have the run for it. He may get it here, though. As Rod Midden has dominated the back half of this race, but he is about to find himself with his hands full. Everybody wants to get up front.
I'm afraid what will happen here, and actually, Bukima does get around.
That's Rob Haynes.
And Kirk has now found his way to second in line on the top row. I'm afraid if Rainwater keeps trying to make this 3 wide move, Bukima's not going to let him back in, and that's where it's going to start. They have flirted with it a couple of times already.
And one other thing these drivers are flirting with is the red line. They just got a warning right as I'm talking right now from race control. These guys trying to protect the bottom so much. The guys that are on the bottom. As the laps are ticking away. 4 to go. Heath Smith leaving a lot of room there on the bottom.
Maybe trying to give himself some room when the inevitable wreck happens here.
Chadwick is making himself real familiar. Oh,
there's the
problems!
contact!
Bakima, Haynes up into the wall, and Bakima's going to come down. Tag, maybe, no. Incredible.
We stay green after all of that, but it's going to allow some new players to get into the mix here in the front, maybe.
Here's Kirk on the outside, second. Truck in line on the top. Rainwater going to pull up. Chadwick a little bit out of shape, trying to push Mitten. Coming to 2 to go. Rod Mitten showing the way. Robert Matisse there on the outside. Kyle Chadwick pushing the 92 here on the inside. William Kirk pushing the 14 on the top.
Can we make it to the white?
Rainwater up the track a little bit. Top side is going to lose a little bit of momentum as they're breaking up behind. We are going to the white flag. It's going to end in regulation.
Rainwater still trying to make it 3 wide. He's going to...
Chadwick!
Again. Oh, there's the contact!
Shunt! Here goes Chadwick to the inside. He's below the red line.
They're wrecking behind. Huge
This
wreck
is the
behind.
race. This is the race to the finish here. More contact! Out front, it's Chadwick. It's Rodoloso. Chadwick is across the line to win it. Kyle Chadwick at truck number 48 crosses the line to win round number 1 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Matt Rodoloso, the other survivor from the front pack, and one driver whose name we did not say all night is going to come away on the podium. Andrew Schulte will round out your podium.
That was
absolute calamity ensues behind.
Well, Noah Rainwater crosses the start-finish line going backwards.
Oh, my.
Wow. That's one for the record books. My goodness.
We're getting the word from race control right now, just making sure that everything is all good here. Celebratory donuts. Sounds like Kyle Chadwick is your winner.
He is burning the house down here at the start-finish line. What a night for Chadwick. He was up front there all night long.
I don't know if he led more than one lap tonight. Maybe, maybe not. Rod Minton over the radio says Netcode initiated that whole mess there. I'll tell you what, let's get some replays going here. Then we'll go into interviews and do the full finishing rundown after the interviews here tonight.
Perfect. Well, this first one happens out of turn number 2.
There's so much to cover.
So much to cover. Oh, and the incidents actually already happened. And, oh, goodness. Goodness me. The 14, which is actually the 29, I think.
Yes.
He gets punted out into the outside wall, comes straight across the racetrack. That causes the first, this isn't just a skirmish. This is an all-out brawl here in the back of the pack. I mean, probably 12 trucks here involved in this one. And then up here towards the front, there's more contact as we come through turn number 3. I think it's initiated with Rainwater and then Kirk. I think Rainwater kind of gets up into Kirk. And him and Lehman and Heath Smith. There's one truck nearly upside down into the catch fence. As a couple of other trucks are trying to scurry by here. And those two that got through, Jack Watts, he ended up finishing 4th in the 77 here. And Andrew Schulte, he squeezes through for that podium finish. I mean, my goodness me.
I think that was Rod Mitten that was up in the catch fence there. We'll go ahead and pull up our third place finisher here. A pretty quiet night until the final 2 turns. Sometimes it's just like that for Andrew Schulte, your third place finisher here tonight. I don't know. What do you take away from a night like tonight?
I am just taking whatever that race gave me. To come out of that third after had 4.5 minutes of optional repair from that first wreck of everyone trying to get in the pit. And it was just fixing the damage and just trying to manage there. And I guess we were sitting in the right position and like 14th or something like that, taking the white flag. And everyone just wrecked around us and got lucky with a couple of ways some of the cars bounced after hitting some other trucks. And we just shot for the openings and somehow, some way wound up on the podium tonight.
That's what it takes sometimes. Matt, what do you got for Andrew?
Well, I mean, congrats on kind of getting through that one. What was it like kind of being buried back there in the pack? We weren't sure if we were going to see a lot of cautions here tonight. There were a couple of more smaller incidents other than the pit entry coming down into pit road. What was it like kind of being buried there? Was there really any moves to be made?
Not really. The first pit run there, with it being a bunch of new guys running together, I was just kind of taking her easy. I haven't really run much at the new configuration, so I didn't know what to expect or how the trucks were going to handle. And so I was just kind of minding my P's and Q's back there. And then, I mean, really, it was when you tried making moves, you had to hope that the guy in front of you like pushed up going into the corner or something to try and get your nose in there. Obviously, this track being tighter than Daytona, even 3 wide's a little hairy. So you had to have a lot of trust if you were making any kind of moves like that, and really just hoping for the best. That's not really much more to it than that.
Well, plus 21 there throughout the race, plus it sounds like 11 on the final lap. You got to do it in style. Anybody you want to shout out or say hi to here tonight?
Thank you guys for broadcasting this. Hopefully everyone out there that's watching enjoyed the show. Hopefully you guys did too. Shout out to Patented Paints whipping up this paint job for the Max Velocity League here. Shout out to Bandit Motorsports teammates. I know we didn't really get into a rhythm of working together how we typically do on plate tracks, but and shout out to the wife who's been, I guess, dealing with my kid who's been not wanting to go to sleep for the last hour. So, oh yeah.
As always, shout out to all the sim moms and sim wives. And shout out to you as well. A driver we're expected to call out here a lot throughout the season. So good way to start it off early. Congrats on the podium here today.
Appreciate it, guys.
And now we'll bring up driver number 49, and I just want to ask straight out of the gate, and probably egg on my face. Can you pronounce your last name for me, good sir?
Absolutely, it's Rodolasso.
I was so close. Gosh darn it. Well, tonight you're driver number P2, so that always sounds really good. We saw you up front pretty much all race long. Was that always the plan for you?
Yeah, I think that was the plan, is to try to get up front and avoid the chaos. And there really wasn't much of it, honestly. I mean, I think some guys spun out coming on the pit road, and there was like one other accident, so it was pretty tame. But yeah, it's pretty much just run up front. Had a teammate near me, and Rod Mitten, so we were trying to stick together, and our other teammate Noah wasn't too far back, so just trying to help those guys and run together and just keep it up front.
Matt, what do you got for Matt?
Well, congratulations on the P2. When you're trying to figure out where you want to run coming into the final stages here, do you prefer the top, prefer the bottom here? I mean, at Atlanta, it's a little bit different from running the top and the bottom. Is there one that you prefer?
During the first couple runs, I liked the top, but that whole last run, I think I was on the bottom. And I was fine with it. It didn't make too much of a difference to me. The top, you could get a little runoff of 2 down the back as long as you were hooked up to the guy in front if you were in the first 2 lanes. But it seemed like it was hard to clear the bottom lane. Like I was pushing the leader of the top lane for a while, and I just couldn't get him clear the bottom. I did a couple times, but it's just hard to clear guys with side drafting. So either lane you're in, you're kind of stalled out once you get even with the other one.
What do you think it was going to take here tonight to maybe get up to P1? Did you need the crash to happen earlier in a different spot? What was it going to take there?
Yeah, either everyone in front of me to wreck. I was third in line there on that last run, so I was kind of just pushing as hard as I could just to try to keep Rod in the lead, just to kind of keep the outside at bay, just to try to push him to the win. But either the wreck happened and everyone kept being taken out in front of me, or maybe get shuffled to the top. I was fine running the bottom, but there's just nowhere to go unless the guy in front of you slips up. With the top, you can kind of make a move to the outside, or if the guy leaves the middle open, you can dive in there. But yeah, it's kind of just a sitting duck. So I was totally content just riding and finishing 5th or 6th wherever I ended up. But it's hard to make a move on the bottom.
I definitely feel that, and we just got a chat from Rod Mitten. He said, "I died, R.I.P." in the chat. So pour one out for Rod Mitten here tonight. But let's get some shout outs going. Anybody you want to say hi to here tonight?
I just want to, thank, league admins for putting on the race. Thank you guys for calling it. And everyone just for, racing clean out there for the most part. I think it was, pretty clean up until the end. So good job on everybody. And just want to thank everyone involved that puts it on.
There you go, Matt Rodolasso. I was so close. I won't forget it after tonight. P2 run for you. Congrats. Go party hard. We'll see you again next week.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
And I'll bring up a race winner, driver number 48. Kyle Chadwick is your winner here tonight. You stayed ahead of the chaos there on the final lap as seemingly the apocalypse happened on the back straightaway there. Is there any more beautiful sight in the rearview mirror than that?
Oh, no, that was great. I looked in the mirror for 2 seconds. I looked forward. They're all going up the wall. I'm like, this is just a gift.
I mean, that's U.S. Postal Service truck was pretty near the front, if not at the front, the entire race. Was that always the plan?
Yeah, it was a big track position night. When they had that wreck coming to pit road early on, once I got up front, I knew I had to stay there.
Matt, what do you got for the race winner here?
Congrats on the P1. He was hauling the mail out here tonight around Atlanta Motor Speedway. On a couple of those restarts, you got blocked pretty heavily. It looked like on the second one, you just kind of decided to kind of stay behind and take it as it is. Was that a place where you were really trying to make a pass to the front and try to stay there?
Yeah, I was playing a little bit of head games at times too. Just wanted to see what they would do later in the race, try to line it up.
Well, you got the big win here. What are some of the expectations and goals throughout the season for you now?
I mean, hopefully to keep it going. There's some fast drivers in this league. I'm not great at saving tires, so hopefully I can figure it out, keep it up front.
I can tell you after tonight, we've got all the confidence in you. Shout-outs for you here tonight.
Just thanks to everyone that put this league together. I mean, it's good to be back.
You're back, and you're back in a big way here tonight with the big win at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kyle Chadwick, congratulations. Go party hard. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
There you go. That is how we wrap up our first broadcast, points paying, that is, with Maximum Velocity Racing League. Wow. This race went by in a hurry, but it had a violent and spectacular conclusion.
Certainly. I mean, I can't remember a better first other than maybe the first race of the Daredevil series, but man, this one is just about right up there with it. I mean, I kind of thought we would see maybe a little more chaos throughout the beginning of the race or even in the middle. Everybody really kept it clean right down to where they felt like they had to go or there was nothing else was going to be able to happen for them. And, man, it happened in a big way there on the last lap.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to say to the fine people out in Turn 200 lane before we pack up shop here today?
Well, just thanks to everybody. I'm sure we had quite a few new viewers out there to Turn 200, so thank you for watching the broadcast and the coverage of the Maximum Velocity Racing League. Always like to shout out the people that we had chatting with us here tonight. Will Kirk's mom was one of them, MD Kirk 5. Noah Rainwater hopped in the chat here. All he had to say was wow, and yeah, wow indeed. That was quite something. Rod Mint was in here, Chris Fulson, and Nathan Reynolds, a car inside, was in here a little bit earlier tonight as well. So thanks for everybody for chatting and watching the show. We really appreciate it.
We got a lot on next week, I tell you that much. And even as of today, the schedule just got a little more full. I'll tell you what we know for sure. Tuesday night, Venom Truck Series Night of All-Stars at iRacing Super Speedway. That is going to be a freaking blast. We've got the All-Star Race and the All-Star Open preceding that. The Daredevil Series back in action for what could very well be the best race of the season at Michigan. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how much fun that is going to be next Wednesday night. And then right back here next Thursday night, next from Velocity Racing League at the new Phoenix Raceway for a big round 2, big sophomore race of the season there. We're going to have some Monday night action as well. Stay tuned in our Discord for some more information about that. Not anything permanent, but we got, I believe it's and that's the thing is I'm not even sure 100% what it. I think it's called Race Cult, the Generation 4 Cup cars, and that is the Race Cult SWM Cup Series. That is what it's called. They need a pinch hitter for a couple of weeks. We are happy to play ball. So you're going to see some Gen 4 racing action here on Monday night on the channel. I believe this tells you how quickly this just came together right before the stream. So let me double check this for you. It is at 2008 Atlanta Motor Speedway. So we are staying right here at Atlanta next Monday night for the SWM Cup Series presented by Race Cult. So that's what we got on tap for next week. Also, we're going to have a big announcement next week.
Wow.
I mean, when I said it's a full week next week, I'm not lying. It is a big week for Turn 200 Land next week. So appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out with us here tonight. Appreciate the 7 subs that we got through the night. We are knocking on the door of 300. We ought to hit that next week. So tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your enemies too. If you really don't like them, maybe send them our way anyway. Yeah. So that's about all we got here. Thanks to the folks at Maximum Velocity Racing League for thinking of us and bringing us on board for their revival season of truck racing action here. For everybody with Maximum Velocity, for the GOAT, Mr. Matt Williamson, and everybody here at Turn 200, I've been Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Kyle Chadwick stands tall over the drivers of the new Maximum Velocity Racing League. Have a good night, everybody.